okay, this brand, this type of internet, this Wi-Fi connectivity experience aligns with what we expect to deliver to our residents. That's why we're going to go with you. A condo HOA board has different concerns than a national REIT who's trying to scale and get uniformity across their portfolio. They're trying to achieve different things. Owners tell us that nothing drives customer complaints, resident complaints, more than bad internet. Resident experience, helping close the gap in those operating costs, future proofing. All of those things kind of fall in line if you do the critical stuff correctly.
Welcome to MDU-Mic, conversations at the intersection of connectivity and community. And now your host, Michael McCourt.
Today, I'm joined by Andrew Dunn, Vice President of Product at Zentro. Andy, welcome to the show.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me.
Please tell us about Zentro and yourself and your role as Vice President of Product.
Sure thing. Well, Zentro is the largest independent MDU-focused ISP in the United States. So that's a lot of pre-qualifiers. I'll boil it down in practical terms. What that means is we are MDU-focused. We were built specifically for the MDU industry. We do our best to understand the nuances of that industry and to tailor solutions towards our customers that operate in MDU. We like to charge forward. You know, we're a challenger brand. Our industry has been around for a long time, as you know, and is built on the shoulders of legacy telco. And we, especially in the MDU business, we want to be a little bit different. Unlike those legacy ISPs, we own and operate a purpose-built network designed specifically with symmetrical gig speeds and bulk internet models, things that appeal to MDUs. It's what makes us a little bit different. It's what makes us relevant. And it's, the only thing we're ever going to do. This business is really important to us. We are laser focused on our target segments, and that's taking care of our customers who are looking to provide great service and experience for their residents for the long term.
What are some lessons learned along the way? Your purpose built for multifamily. Tell us a bit more about what you've learned over the years.
Yeah, it's been certainly been a learning experience, and our company has evolved over the last 15, 20 years. We've had, a number of legacy companies that have merged, and we've grown, and we've acquired other companies, and there's been a ton of learnings along the way. Everything evolves, but nothing seems to evolve quite as quickly as the MDU business. People's preferences change; they have to adapt for that. The macroeconomic environment forces them into different changes. And we do our best to stay educated on what's happening in the real estate world and the MDU world specifically, and tailoring solutions specifically towards those owners and developers and residents that live in these large, big complex buildings. The legacy ISPs, God bless them, they have to try and be everything to everyone, and that's not what we do. So we do things like integrating with property management systems, partnering with companies like Calix to develop new and creative solutions to improve resident experience, eliminating confusing bundles, the unnecessary, in our view, unnecessary fees and taxes and things. We only pass along what we're required to pass along. We keep it simple. At the bottom end of the day, internet to a degree is a utility, just like water or power. It's become that important. So our single mission is to help our customers, who are these large building owners, provide always on internet with concierge level support. It's served, that model and that focus has served us well, and it will be our North Star going forward as well.
When we first met, Andy, we passed business cards, so that wasn't very cool of us to do, but we traded business cards. And the first thing I noticed on your business card, and I pointed out, was at the bottom tagline, "Not feeling the Zen, here's a phone number." You've got the technology, you've got the gigabit speeds. One of your differentiators is that customer service support concierge level. Thought it was interesting that was on your business card. you tell us a little bit about the support you offer and how important that is?
Yeah, you're calling us out on our age a little bit, but I think the gray in our beards does that as well.
Yeah,
That yeah,
I'll edit that out in post.
that's that's really awesome that you caught that, and I'm glad that you did. It's so one of the things that we do that is partially a function of our size. We're not a giant legacy telco. Um, but we have a clear escalation path for all of our customers. If, they're having a challenge, and let's be frank, this is technology, people have challenges. No matter how great the network is, there's going to be an issue from time to time. It'll come up. And when that does, we want to be super responsive and not add to the frustration of a complicated experience by having people struggle to get in touch with us. So we define that escalation path for our customers from day one. We say, if you have a challenge, here's a dedicated hotline that you can ring into our support. If you don't get the answer that you want right away, here's your dedicated account manager who you know and love. You've met them before. Here's their cell phone number. You can reach them anytime. If that's not working, or it's after hours, or whatever the case may be, you can escalate to our executive leadership team. And that's the path. It's clear, it's transparent, and it's just, it's something that really differentiates us. And I think our customers appreciate that when, everyone understands that technology can have flaws at times. And anytime you're not getting the experience you hope for, you have a clear path to escalate and get that resolved by people who are attentive and care. And it's, lots of people say we care about our customers. I'm sure that they do and they believe it. But Zentro really likes to walk the talk by illustrating that escalation path, providing access to our leadership, and delivering really quick response times when you need us.
Came from Smart Spaces in Dallas, Texas, and one of the themes of that show was AI. Residents want technology, but they also want a person. They
Absolutely.
want to see someone. So if we can use AI and technology to take things off of leasing agents, property managers, allow them to be more efficient for more of that personal attention, how have you seen your support model change over the years?
Well, it's difficult, right? We have to be available via the avenue that the individual resident, individual consumer wants to take, right? Some folks prefer that one-on-one conversation, so they want that telephone number and they want a direct pathway to someone in support. Other folks, more tech savvy folks, never want to talk to anybody. They want to, talk to a chat bot, get an answer, and sign up without talking to customer support. So we try and provide both experiences. Um, it's tough to do all of those things really well, but we spend a ton of time and thought trying to get it right. And if it's my hope, and I think we do a pretty good job delivering on this, that regardless of your preference in terms of communication, you can get in touch with Zentro pretty quickly in the fashion that you prefer.
What are some of the biggest pain points that you hear from property owners and operators in terms of managed Wi-Fi technology? What do you and the team encounter in the field that's really a pain point for
Yeah,
those people?
I'll tell you, it's pretty consistent, Michael. The resident experience is, always top of mind with these folks. That's how they make their money. Owners tell us that nothing drives customer complaints, resident complaints, more than bad internet. So taking care of our network, making sure that people can stay connected, making sure that we're responsive when they have challenges. Ultimately, that leads to fewer headaches for their frontline staff. And everyone knows how challenging it is out there in the world of hiring these days. It's tough to find good people. So if these owners and developers can ease the pain of their frontline staff by partnering with great partners like Zentro, like Calix, that just have products that work and support that's responsive, that really is powerful to them and resonates. And so it's all of these things come full circle, right? It's we do these things not to operate so that they exist in isolation. It's all part of the holistic experience. We want to deliver great network, great service, and ultimately great that those two things lead to great satisfaction. Um, Another challenge we hear, and they spoke about this a little bit at Parks, where you and I were this week. Um, the pace of cost outpacing their ability to increase rent, so they're getting squeezed on both sides. We a long time ago recognized that this was a persistent issue in their industry. You hear it all the time. And that's why we've really leaned into the bulk internet provisioning model. That does a couple of things for the owner. It gives them the opportunity to own their resident experience when it comes to internet. All of these folks have individual brands, individual identities, they have experiences that they promise to their residents. By partnering with someone like Zentro, who has a good reputation in a bulk model, it allows them to own that experience and say, this brand, this type of internet, this Wi Fi connectivity experience aligns with what we expect to deliver to our residents. That's why we're going to go with you. When you operate in more of an a la carte or retail environment, there's lots of different terms for multi providers in a building. You lose that ability, and you're subject to the whims of whomever. And going back to that resident experience and mitigating the pain that frontline um, property managers can have to deal with, that becomes more challenging when you've got lots of fishing poles in the water, so to speak. And then the last thing that we hear is really future proofing. It's, you and I work in technology. So this is a term that kind of makes, at least for me, makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up because everything moves so quickly. But the point is, they want to make sure that their building infrastructure and their Wi-Fi experience is adaptable and ready for whatever the next thing is. And we take a lot of time thinking about these things, positioning our network, building to scale, working with great partners like Calix who stay on the front end of all Wi-Fi technology, so that we can continue to iterate throughout the term of a contract or throughout a relationship with a building and provide them the best that's available at any given point in time. So we work to solve these things, but it's, really, again, it's not that complex. These folks view internet like water, like the power in their house. It's a utility, right? So it's got to work. It's got to work when you want it to work, and it's got to be good. So we do. If you do those things, you can kind of check the boxes on the three big issues I just talked about: resident experience, helping close the gap in those operating costs, future proofing. All of those things kind of fall in line if you do the critical stuff correctly.
When I hear my owner or our ownership group wants to give residents a choice, what I think back to is maybe 2011, where you would have a cable company and then maybe DSL. The property ownership group wanted their residents to have a fast option or a cheaper, slower option, but they also wanted to make sure there were two options in case a resident had bad debt with the company. For example, it's 2011, you have a brand new whole home DVR. You accidentally threw it out. Now you owe $1,100 to the cable company and you go to try to get service in your apartment home and they say no. What do you think about that?
Gosh, that's a kind of a loaded question, so I'll take it in steps, I think. So again, working in bulk, which is obviously what we recommend. Again, it helps you control the experience. So things like the example you gave generally are able to, if you've got a good partnership, you can manage all of those things. You've got one hand to shake, and it's, generally you don't get presented with those types of things. I think you kind of painted the picture as to why retail internet can be a challenge in MDUs. That you again, that's a using your analogy, it's an unfortunate situation that can become the problem of a property manager, and they've just got so many other things to deal with. Um, we, in for a long time, because this business was built on the shoulders of legacy telco, retail kind of was the name of the game. So it still is pretty prevalent in a lot of markets. What we found and are pushing, quite frankly, is that with the more sophisticated owners and developers, is that you can own this experience, save yourself some headaches, possibly earn a little bit of upside revenue to increase your NOI by working with a great partner like Zentro through a bulk contract. Um, it's we are a data driven company. So through our learnings and by partnering with folks like Parks Associates, um, we lean in on the data that supports the fact that bulk internet reduces residents' complaints, drives higher renewal rates, creates ancillary revenue opportunities. It's just the best of both worlds, provided, of course, that you have a good partner and that they can deliver on the experience that these owners demand.
Where are your customers leveraging your connectivity most outside of the in-unit experience? You provide a great in-unit experience, but you also provide ubiquitous coverage throughout the property. Are there certain areas that you find that customers are really taking advantage of that for residents?
Yeah, it's interesting. So COVID changed the way the world works in a lot of ways, right? Again, I'll reference back to the gray in our beards. You and I don't necessarily understand this, Michael, but co-working spaces in these large urban MDUs has become table stakes. Folks work from home, and they still want that touch of camaraderie of community that exists in an office environment, but rather than commuting to their company's office, they find it in these co-working spaces, working and living amongst their peers. So these MDUs, certainly anything that's been built since, call it 2023, has these very robust, beautiful co-working spaces with meeting rooms and conference centers and Zoom booths. And so making sure that we are able to take the experience that residents enjoy from Zentro in their apartment and transfer that to these co-working areas is critically important because, there's just absolutely nothing worse than jumping on a Teams meeting or a Zooms call and having it drop. Just it's, while people generally understand that things happen, it's a bad look just the same. So it's super important to us to make sure that we carry our experience in a uniform of fashion throughout the building. Whether that's a co-working lounge or the pool or a gym or, the dog park, what have you. People want to stay connected and they want it to be seamless.
How do you balance the big relationships with the big groups and maybe the smaller property ownership groups? I know you service both. Do you approach those in any kind of different way?
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to. Again, it's that goes to the core of our DNA. We're very specific about how we present solutions to different customer profiles because different things matter to different groups. Um, you know, while everyone wants to have a great experience, of course, that's kind of the common throughput on all through all of our ICPs. Um, the group in charge or the ownership, however you want to classify it, they have different obligations, different agendas. So a condo HOA board has different concerns than a national REIT who's trying to scale and get uniformity across their portfolio. They're trying to achieve different things. It's incumbent on us as the provider to understand these things or to try and understand these things through consultative selling, so that we can provide solutions that make sense, so that we remain relevant. So we're increasing the value of our relationship rather than just saying, "Here's internet, do your thing." We want to say, partner with all of our customers to give them to solve as many problems as possible, what be it financial, be it service related, be it niche connectivity. A condo is not going to have a giant co-working space, so going in and talking to them about that doesn't make any sense. They want to make sure that their owners and their units are going to have a great experience, that they're going to get the service that they expect when they need us, and that we're there to help them grow because they quite frankly don't grow at the same rate as a national REIT would. They're building things all over the place. You own a condo, you're going to be there for a little while. That condo board might change or the dynamic might change, but the residents are going to be there and they want a company that's going to help them navigate that and adapt as technologies change.
Andy, your company is growing extremely fast at Zentro, and you recently were involved in a merger. Could you tell us a little bit about your growth, that merger, and what you're looking for in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Really exciting. Our company is private equity owned. We have great partners in private equity, MC Partners. They're out of Boston, Massachusetts, and they've really helped us in terms of thought leadership and in terms of direction, and as well as the funding, obviously, which is fantastic, and have helped us grow strategically over the past 4 or 5 years. They had another investment, a sister property company to ours called BAI Connect out in Los Angeles, um, who looks and smells and feels very, very much like Zentro. So it made total sense to bring these two great organizations together, which we've done as of a couple of months ago. So we've increased our reach, grown a little bit in scale, brought some really, really excellent teammates into the fold, and rebranded the entire organization as Zentro. What that does for us is, again, it gives us that expanded reach, gives us a West Coast arm, and now we have um, not just one home base. We Zentro operates out of Chicago, but two, because BAI now is Zentro West or Zentro Unified, or however we're referring to it. Operates out of LA. Both companies operate in other markets as well, while not as dense, still very significant. Our plan for the future is to bring the great resident experience that Zentro provides in an order of magnitude in these new markets. Places like Atlanta and Nashville and Miami, out west, Portland, um, Dallas, San Diego, Denver. So what that does is really increase our ability to work with national partners, these national REITs, national property management firms, to present ourselves as a more unified provider, give them the opportunity to scale with us to grow through shared vision, um, which is great. It's real exciting, and there's a lot coming all at once. We also through this merge have taken the opportunity to kind of double down on our partnership with your company, with Calix, to develop Smart MDU, which we're going to steal our own or apply our own brand here, but we're going to call it Zentro Bliss.
Mhm.
Zentro Bliss is whole building connectivity and will be the cornerstone of our go-to-market strategy going forward. We're so thankful for great partners like Calix who help us develop these things. We have a fantastic engineering team, as you've gotten a little exposure to the folks in Zentro Engineering. We've got a great team that's helped us build this as well. And I'm so excited about the technology. I want to talk about it more. We're going to kind of get into this here in 2026. But we're taking it out to market. It's so radically different from what other companies are able to provide, and we think we can just really improve it. It'll be a product that's really compelling and can really help properties differentiate themselves from their competition in market by providing an experience unlike any other in MDUs.
The Zentro team won an award at Smart Spaces in Dallas, Texas for Peachtree Residences in Atlanta, Georgia. That's powered by Smart MDU, Zentro Bliss. Could you tell us about that award and the project and how it all came together?
Yeah, it's a really exciting story, actually. So let's step back even a little further. Um, we had heard for a time about some of the challenges that our partners in real estate development had with creating ubiquitous and Wi-Fi environments in their properties, keeping people connected, being able to do so at a realistic price. Um, and so, while attending Calix Connections, Calix's showcase event, annual event, um, we brought this to you guys, told you a little bit about our challenge, and worked with the team at Calix to develop what became Smart MDU by taking an existing platform that you guys had for rural city centers, Smart Town, and flipping it from a horizontal deployment to a vertical deployment. It's an oversimplification, but it illustrates the conversation. Um, we built a really intuitive and smart and user friendly management portal to govern this technology so that we can give it to our customers out of the box, and they're able to use this, manage their environment, onboard, offboard new residents, um, do all sorts of exciting things. And uh, while we saw the value in, let's call it in testing in beta, we needed someone to practically test this for us. We have a number of fantastic relationships. That's how we've grown our business so successfully. But within that cohort, there are a few that stand out. And one of those standout relationships was this property, the Peachtree Residences down in Atlanta. We had recently done a full scale upgrade, infrastructure rewire. Gosh, we did everything there. We upgraded their video experience through our partner DirecTV. It was a significant undertaking, and the management team down at Peachtree Residences was just so engaged and so thoughtful, and so dedicated and aligned with us on in terms of the experience we wanted to deliver, that the whole thing went off flawlessly. So they were an easy choice when it came to test property for this new smart MDU Bliss technology. We approached them with the opportunity. They jumped on it. They were once again super helpful in helping us deploy, getting their residents onboarded, helping with the education around this tool, why it's important, how easy it would be to onboard folks, all of that, all of those conversations that needed to happen. And the rollout, quite frankly, couldn't have gone any better. I was, let's call it cautiously optimistic, knowing how good and reliable Peachtree Residences were, knowing how good and reliable Calix was, that things would go well. And the actual deployment just blew my expectations out of the water. And that's a product of, again, these good partnerships and good people who were all aligned in what it was we were trying to accomplish, and just quite frankly wouldn't take no for an answer. Whenever a hiccup came or a hurdle was placed in our way, everyone jumped in, worked together, and got it resolved so quickly. So we were able to deliver this new technology, first of its kind in America, on time without a hiccup. It was just fantastic. So we were pretty proud of this. Obviously, if it's not coming through from my conversation, so we applied for this award with Parks, wrote a little white paper. They, I guess, agreed with our assessment of the situation and were kind enough to give us this recognition. So it was really exciting to go down there and take part of that. The side benefit was the content of that conference was fantastic, which was great. Um, but it's always nice to get up and get recognized and get a little hardware as well.
Andy, there's a lot of talk about future proofing properties or thinking future forward. Technology is changing at such a rapid pace. What do you see as table stakes or something new today that is going to be table stakes in a year, 2, 3, 5 years down the road? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I wish I had a crystal ball because that would probably be a competitive advantage. Certainly, it would be a competitive advantage. But what I think, there's a couple of things. We've talked a lot about smart MDU and how that allows private resident networks to carry over throughout the property. That's new and exciting right now. And we're glad to be on the leading edge of that sort of technology. 5 years from now, that's just going to be the way things are. Everyone's going to stay connected everywhere. So, how do you scale your building infrastructure to get ahead of that so that you can adapt, increase speeds, do all the things you need to do to um, provide that great experience, into the future? Smart building ecosystems, obviously, more and more of these large MDUs are investing in smart locks and um, water sensors, all of those things. You need to be able to have a network that can scale to accomplish all of that. The biggest thing, and I know Calix is really looking at this, investing in this, um, AI driven support. Someone is going to figure out. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Being able to meet your customers where they want to meet, be it on the phone or be it on online chat. AI driven support. Someone is going to figure out how to do this right, and we hope that it's us. But how do you leverage the amazing power of AI to augment, improve the things you already do well? How do you give your human agents that people want to talk to the tools to respond quicker or provide greater support or offer an idea to a customer that may not have occurred to them before? How do we use those things to improve the experience, improve our responsiveness, all of that? It's someone our age, again, we keep coming back to this, Michael. At least I do. You and I are getting a little bit older, so hopefully we'll live to see the benefits of some of these things. But people talk about AI, and at least my mind as being product of the 80s. I think about the Terminator, and I hope that's not coming, but I think that sort of adaptability and thoughtfulness from a machine is certainly on its way. So how do you leverage that power to improve your business and give people an enhanced experience? I don't know, but we really want to work with partners like Calix, to figure it out, because whomever does is really going to just hold the keys to the kingdom.
If people want to connect with you, where can we find more about Zentro?
Zentro, our website is zentrointernet.com, always on there. I'm on LinkedIn. Zentro's on LinkedIn. We do all the socials. Please come visit, like, whatever. But more importantly than that is, again, human touch. We want to talk to anyone interested in improving their Wi-Fi connectivity, improving their resident experience, um, improving their net NOI bottom line. We want to talk to all of those folks. And we've got a great sales team that's engaged and is doing a lot of that. But the reach from places like MDU-Mic will only help. So yeah, let us, we want to be a good partner. We want to help. So if you have a need, reach out. There's plenty of avenues to do that. You can certainly even email me if you'd like. I don't know if your pop and email address is on here, but I'm glad to give it. It's adunn@zentrointernet.com. Drop me a line. We'll reach out immediately.
Andy, thank you so much for the conversation today. If I don't see you before, I know I'll see you in Vegas in the middle of October. We're looking forward to the Zentro presence at the event. The show is really going to be dialed in on AI, and we have a multifamily talk track, so it's going to be perfect for all of us in your group. So we look forward to seeing you in Vegas.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for the time, Mike. This has been a lot of fun.
Great to have you. Thanks, Andy.
Take care.